Okay, I made a big decision today. I'm removing the cover on my hoop house. I am definitely noticing slower growth now compared to things that are outside. My potatoes outside are doing incredible, and that's because they're in direct sun, apparently. So today my plan is to remove this cover, and just to give an update, here are my little starts. Tomatoes are doing great. I've got summer squash, honeydew melon, butternut squash. These are doing quite well. Another tray here, doing pretty well. Spaghetti squash, eggplant. Actually, the eggplant hasn't come up. That's a tomato. Anyway, doing okay. About half the tray here is up, and 90% of this tray is up. These are peppers. These are the hot jalapeno peppers, giant as well. And they're coming up pretty good. Over here, this is the latest tray, and I've got some Abe Lincoln coming on. Those are really juicy beefsteak, yummy tomatoes. Anyhow, I'm gonna remove this, fold this back, and let the full sun in here. All right, I've already removed all the rocks and stuff that are down there along the edge. You throw on some gloves, and I'm gonna start peeling back this cover. I want to do it in an orderly way that it's folded nicely. My wife's gonna come help me in a minute, but I'm gonna get started. All right, I'm happy with that. Look at that. I think I will be able to preserve this plastic and then put it back when it's, replace it when it's getting cooler. Let's see how well it, let's see how intact it remains this season. But anyway, I wanted to expose the plants to some sun, and there we got it. Very different environment now. But these guys want direct sun, so that's what they're gonna get. And direct access for pollinators, a good thing too. Look at all my onions going to seed. I was 2 months early on the onions. And my rhubarb, super early on the rhubarb too. I mean, it's already had a full life cycle basically. Look at this. It's gone to seed. Spinach is going to seed too, and my sorrel going to seed. Seed, seed, seed. Full lives, happy lives. I'm gonna pull this out very soon, because at this point the production's happening. Like, all the energy is going towards seed production. It's not putting out tons of leafage. So this will probably come out in a week. I will pull whatever spinach is here, give it to my wife. She likes to chomp on it, and the birds do too. Okay, that's progress there. The hoop house is basically an open garden now, and that's fine. I noticed that there was a distinct growth difference between, well, I noticed it with the potatoes first. These potatoes here, you know, they are what they are. They may have got overwatered. There's a little yellowing going on. But the potatoes outside are very green. They're like a deep green. And they've gone through 3 freezes and have recovered. These potatoes are doing quite well now. And of course, my Jerusalem artichoke, also called sunchoke, they are doing very well. They are super tough. I put these in. Boy, it feels like it's been, we got some curling. I wonder if you're thirsty. I did water you recently. Oh, that's super dry. I need to put some water in there. I might water just now. Why not? And so the wind is a factor for drying out. Bear that in mind. Wind dries out your soil a lot and your plants. And it's almost transplanting time. I have trays of stuff that need to go out very soon. My garden is so spread out with boxes everywhere that I have been watering by hand, and I don't mind it at all. You know, actually, okay, I won't say I don't mind it. It is a chore, but when I'm in the middle of it, I get to be intimate with my plants and see how they're doing and do some weeding. Weeding is very important. Weeds will take water from your plants, and weeding is always something you'll have to do. Well, these guys are doing great. These are the giant sunflower, Russian mammoth. Got these on eBay. Very, very good deal. And I think I've started probably a dozen. So I'm gonna have these like 16-foot tall sunflowers. And the seeds I will save and probably sprout. The birds love sunflower seed sprouts. Yep, sunflower seed sprouts, birds love them. And they only take a week. You know, you can plant on Sunday, come back the next Sunday, and you've got sprouts that you can share with your animals. But you can also eat the sprouts, and we've eaten sprouts. You can throw them in a sandwich, handful of sprouts. Eat them on some, throw some sprouts on some eggs. It's good too. I'm gonna go crazy with my strawberries. I like strawberries in pots. I can move them in and out of the hoop house. And they were doing well this spring in recovery. In preparation for the growing season, they did quite well in the greenhouse. Lots of weeds. See these little sprouts? The birds love them. I like strawberries. It's fun to grow them, and they want to grow like crazy. Look at all the runners just from one side of this plant going off into here. Fast forward a month, this thing will be full. Strawberries are incredible. In fact, they are the fruit that I'm most impressed by in my garden. Their willingness to fruit and spread. It's unbelievable. I'm going to nickname them the rabbit of fruit, man, because they want to proliferate. They just, seriously, they are not messing around. Even in partial sun. Oh, look, there's a nice strawberry. That'll be one of the next ones I eat. See that? Beauty. It'll be ready in a week. Or less, I mean. Maybe 3 or 4 days. But here's the secret with strawberries. If you want more production of fruit, then trim off those runners. Because when it comes to plants and anything growing, you can help direct the growth in the desired direction. But at this point in my garden, I am interested in having lots of plants for the future. So I'm allowing everything to happen. The fruiting, the running, I'm having it all happen because I want tons of strawberries. They're really resilient. They can go stretches without water. Not like I'm abusing my plants and don't water them, but I just noted that I can water a lot, and then I can go like, I don't know, 4 days with no water. So, I don't know, they regulate what they need somehow. It's just an incredible fruit. Raspberries, doing quite well too over there. But per pound, my production of strawberries, I produced so many berries last year with just a handful of starts. Here's some more strawberries. We were picking strawberries daily. And that was, you know, building up our pots of strawberries. This year I've got a big advantage. I'm ahead because I already have 10 pots going. And again, I could multiply that by 10 easily if I had that many pots. And you may notice that I've got more than just soil on top of my pot. All this is material, dead material from last year's growth that I am allowing to stay. Not only is it acting as mulch for the top to help retain water, but it's degrading over time, adding back biological nutrients to the soil. And I'm so impressed with my blackberry that I pulled out of a park in Bountiful, a shady area down by a stream. It's doing awesome here in the shade. In fact, it's taken on its own life path and gone out into the soil here. And it's just doing awesome. I totally expect it to become a big bramble, and that's what I want. I want a big bramble of blackberries here. Bring it on. I don't care if it's thorny. I want those blackberries. Now, these are the raspberries. And at this point, they are just exploding with growth. Just at this height here, everything was at this height here about 10 days ago. And look, it's grown up like 10 inches. At this point, again, the growth is explosive. And I've always had these in this big pot. And I cut them back to the ground this year, all the last year's growth. I cut it back clear to the surface of the pot soil. And that was a good move because all of the underground growth, the root system, was very much intact. And it has just exploded back into life. And raspberries, again, is another fruit that you can water and water and water, and they can tolerate a lot of water. It's hard to screw up the watering, but pay attention, I suppose. If you see a lot of yellowing, that means it's overloaded. My goal here is this summer is to grow all of the ingredients for my own 100% homegrown, homemade salsa. And at this rate, I'm on my way. We've got the cilantro, we've got tomatoes going, we've got onions, and the jalapenos are going to follow behind, and those are coming up already. So I will achieve that goal this year of salsa. And what's really cool is sitting around your table and counting the things that you've grown that are making up the meal that you're eating. Eggs, tomato, eggplant, onion, garlic. These are some of the things, and spinach. These are some of the things that I can look forward to when I sit down in a couple months, maybe the end of the summer, sit down to a lunch or breakfast or a dinner and count half of the ingredients from my garden. Feels good. But also to know that it didn't come from some store where they were pesticided to death. I don't know, it's fun to grow. And this fondness of growing has grown on me. I didn't have this fondness until my 30s, but I really dig it now. Not only is it like a pleasant activity, sure it's laborious, not only is it a pleasant activity, but it's fruitful. You have the reward, the physical reward of your labor, but to subsist solely on your own labor would be enormously difficult. You would spend all day doing gardening, not to mention preserving what you grow at the end of the year. Thankfully, onions, carrots, potatoes have a shelf life, thankfully. Throw in rabbits to the mix, chickens that you butcher, throw that in. You could kind of squeak through life for a while. That is if you have enough water. You need to transplant these fruit trees. These little guys. I think there's a pear and an apple there. I say I think because I sourced these from somebody that had abandoned them. They weren't getting watered, so now they're mine. They will get a good home. Now you can see here, if anybody's still paying attention or caring to, I've added a bunch of straw. This is helping retain water. Because again, so much evaporation happens in the sun. And I want to minimize that, slow it down, slow it down. It probably helps with the weeds. It might help to a degree with weeds. To a degree, maybe. Ooh, I should probably transplant. As I say that, I pull out a big morning glory. I need to move this guy. It's time for you to go. You right here? That's too much water. That to me says too much water. But it was also damaged by the frost, so. See this tight ball at the top of the onion? It's packed full of seed. When this outer layer deteriorates, they look like this. And they're not ready to harvest. The seed's not ready until they're dark. In fact, what happens really is it's going to just dry out and fall. That's the beauty of onions. You can just grow onions, let them go to seed, and they will proliferate on their own. You know, if I were to build a hoop house again, I would do things a little differently. These end pieces, I think that I'd frame up a structure that I could remove on and off, and it would be covered in plastic. So I'd just remove a big piece of framed lumber with plastic I could just slap on and off, and then the very top piece would not be incorporated so much into what I have going on. Like this whole piece here comes out, and then I cut it up to fit this space. I would do that differently. If I were to start all over, I'd have both ends having basically a removable panel that was a half moon shape with a built-in door. That removable completely. And then this top piece could easily be removed separately and not be integrated necessarily here. Anyway, thanks again for joining me. I am on to finish, or at least to work on my chicken run. Bye.